Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Michaela and I am so excited because I've received this really gorgeous order of Luna top and rose bottoms. So I've got here my pieces already cut and I'm going to start showing you in different videos on both how I'm doing the Luna top and the rose bottoms. So to explain you a little bit better, this is the back piece and these two are my front pieces. As you see, I marked them with a little pin in order to know which is my upper part of the top and which would be my center part of the top. So I've got here this is my strap cut. Like I say a lot of times to you, there is a video on how to do the spaghetti strap. I practically just fold it like that in two and I'm pinning it, and afterwards I go with a serger. I'm adding elastic on this side as well. Elastic is just optional, and then I use a loop turner to turn it around. So this is my loop turner and I use it, but there is a video for it, so I will be skipping that step where I'm doing my spaghetti strap. I just want to show you that I have it already cut. I know some of you are asking me like, oh, there is no measurement. I'm always cutting to have enough. I'm honest to you, I never measure since there's not enough, never. So I don't want to take a specific measurement because this is also something which is actually quite personal. Some people prefer like a longer strap hanging and some people a shorter one. So yeah, I cut always enough. Let's say about 1.5 meters. So I've got here as well my my lining piece is cut as well, and my other lining is here. Like that, and then I've got my back piece lining as well. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take these lining pieces away and I'm going to connect the back piece to the front piece, so then it's always easier to work over the entire top. This top is so easy and so fast to do. In half an hour you'll have it. What I'm doing now, I'm actually just pinning the sides like this. I've placed my back piece on top of one of my front pieces and I will be pinning the sides, and I will be repeating the same step for the lining pieces. So I will be, so like you see, I've just placed it on top like this, and I will be doing the same for my lining parts. I will make sure to have my right side of the fabric. As it's white, it's a little tricky, but this is right side of the fabric and this is another side, right side of the fabric. So I'll be placing it over like this. So like you know probably from some of my videos, what I'm doing always, I am doing a basting stitch always. If you're a comfortable seamstress and you feel like you don't need a basting stitch, you can always use the serger directly if you have a serger. If you don't have a serger, you can totally do this top with your normal sew machine, using a zigzag stitch for most of it. Like you also probably know, I'm using always a latex elastic. This is my elastic, is a rubber elastic. Sorry, I call it latex because in Spanish it's called like that. So I'm using this rubber elastic, and this is always optional, but I always recommend it. It's always good for your bikini to last longer. So I will be going ahead. I will be doing this off camera. I will be actually first bust stitch and then serge. You do not need to add elastic to the sides. Once I'm done this, I'll come back and I'll show you the next steps. Okay, so I've kept this last piece, I've kept it for last to show you how I'm actually serging it. Perhaps it's no help for you in case you do not have a serger, but yeah, I just wanted to show you. I've serged this last bit, and next what I'm going to do, I'm going to place my main fabric, because they're both lycra. So I'm going to place my main fabric on top of my lining fabric, facing right sides together, and I will be pinning. I always like to start pinning from the seams, so I'm aligning always the seams. This is very important to me. And I'm actually pinning upper part and lower part. I will be showing it to you, and afterwards I'll be doing it off camera. So I'm actually pinning all upper part and all lower part. Once I've finished pinning, I will go ahead and first I will be doing the bust stitching. This time I will be doing the bust stitching because I feel like this is very important to me, that the fabric is not sliding as it can be when you're using a serger, right? Or including when you're using a zigzag stitch. But like I said, this is just optional. It's a recommendation. You can do it or you can skip it. If you choose to skip it, then you should be doing a zigzag stitch on the upper part and as well on the lower part. Why a zigzag stitch? Because zigzag stitch is giving elasticity to your garment, yeah. Since this is a bikini top, obviously you need to have it stretched, right? So zigzag stitch is a stretch stitch. Adding elastic is optional. Like I said, I am adding elastic always. I'm used to it. I've always done it. I will always do it. I know in a lot of sewing groups they are asking, the opinions are divided, and just let me just say that to you. I did buy some bikinis from Marks of Shein and other cheap marks, let's just say like that, and I can tell you they all use elastic. So if they use it must be an important part of the process. So whilst I was actually talking to you, I did pin everything. So I'm going ahead and I am actually doing quickly a bust stitching with you just to show you how I do it. I'm showing it in all my videos. So I have my stitch length on 4, and well, the stitch width is always on 3, and I practically just it's a straight stitch. The busting stitch, it is a straight stitch because it's supposed just to hold the two layers of fabric together, which you will be after ripping apart or making cuts through it. I prefer I prefer making cuts through it since I'm not, that way I'm not overstretching it, and it doesn't take me a long time actually. The only difference is that once I finish my garment, I give a few stretches to my garment in order to make sure that the bust stitching is not keeping the garment very tight. And of course my clients not to be scared while the popping, because I never actually completely remove the bust stitching. But since this fabric I'm always using lycra for as lining and main fabric, so as you can see, I'm doing these little cuts every few centimeters, and I will be doing it on both sides. And once I've added the elastic, once I've serged, I will be actually showing you the next step as well. The serging and adding elastic. Once the elastic is added and serged, then you can give a little stretch, not too much because you don't want to overstretch your top neither. Okay, so I'm almost done with making the little cuts, and I am going to, oh sorry, so I'm obviously adding the elastic on the lycra side of my fabric, on the main fabric. And as you can see, I do have an elastic guide. I didn't always had that. When I didn't, I'm honest to you, I actually just guided it with my fingers. All right. So here it is, and as you can see, I give a little stretch to the top, so it's more stretchy. And next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bust stitch the upper part, and I will be doing the same, adding the elastic, and I will show you afterwards the next step. Okay, so I've got here my top with my elastic already serged. I've got my spaghetti strap, and really we are so close of actually finishing it, you know, it's so crazy. This top, it's so easy. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to actually cut the loops, and my client wants an extra loop. So what I actually do, I'm just measuring it like that with my finger. Like I said, it's about 4 centimeters. I think in the instructions I've said it's 4 centimeters. So I'm taking here, I'm cutting 5 loops on each side, but I'm going to do just one side with you since everything is mirrored. So this would be faster so you don't get bored. And like I said, you don't need, actually for this top, you don't need to have an industrial machine. I did not add elastic to this spaghetti strap because it actually has no it has no support, the straps. And next I'm going to do, since my client already required an extra loop, that they're not very distanced, I go ahead and I measure it. So I'm having 17 centimeters, and I'll be introducing every 3, I would say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, about that. So this is how I measure, this is how you can measure actually. So next thing you'll have to do, this part is a little tricky and it requires patience. You're placing the little loop, you're placing it inside like that, and then you will be pinning it. I prefer this than actually using needles, right? Because poking a lot. So it's easier for me to use these little clips. So I'm placing it like that. And I'm pinning them. Oops. Pinning is actually really important. Why? Because it will help you to maintain the loops in place whilst you'll be stitching it. All right. So normally in the normal pattern, I think we had four loops. So like I said, my client requested an extra one, so of course easy to modify it, right? And now I go to my sew machine, and this is first a bust stitch done. So I'm going to bust stitch it, and the very first one I place it right under. If you have like a sew machine which is got, it's a little tricky when it comes to stitching, let's just say a bit thicker parts. There is a little foot which is called hump jumper, I believe. My machine is a Singer heavy duty. Sorry, sometimes I tend to get too close to the sew machine. So as you see, I'm holding it in place. Once I remove the little clip, I'm holding it in place like this with my both fingers, and then I give a slight pull, please, like this. So the only thing you have to be very careful that you don't hit yourself with a needle whilst you'll be sewing. Though I do this a lot, so I'm a little bit careless. So next, what I'm going to do, because this was just a bust stitch. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the excess of my little loops like this, and I'm going ahead to my serger. If you don't have a serger, then I recommend you to do another straight stitch over with your normal sew machine. as you want your stitches obviously to be extremely secured, right? So now I'll be repeating this step on the other side. Then I will show you the process of turning the top on the right side of the fabric, and obviously the loops, the thread looping, the strap looping. So yeah, once I finish this, I will be showing you the last step. Okay, so I've stitched the other side as well of my little loops, and next what I'm going to do, actually I am going to make a little hole in the top. You can actually choose where to make the hole, but yeah, I will make it here. It's easier for me afterwards to close this hole. I don't make it really big, so I just unstitch my stitches, and I don't make it really big because obviously I don't want to do a lot of hand stitching, of course. Okay, so I've taken about 2 centimeters apart, and through this little hole I will be turning all my top on the right side of the fabric, like that. And actually this step of closing this little hole, I will be not showing it to you, but I'm always using an invisible hand stitch. There's like really plenty of YouTube videos on how to do an invisible hand stitch. Alrighty, and now I'm gonna go to the other side. And actually I didn't tell you, but since this is a bandeau top, from my experience I've learned that it's always a good idea to do a little bit of top stitching over. So you may not see it, but on the upper part of my top I actually pulled a little bit the elastic, so the elastic is like slightly ruched. You can see that's not really laying flat, right? And perhaps on this side you see it, right? Because I will be going ahead and I will be doing a top stitching with my cover stitch machine, but I just wanted to show you what it would be the next step. So you practically take the strap and you will be placing it like this, and then keep crossing it until the end. I'll not do this with you because I want to do obviously first the top stitching, but once I've done the top stitching and the invisible stitch, I will definitely show you the final result. Happy sewing! So here is my final result. As you can see, I did the top stitching. I didn't like the lower part not to have a top stitch, so even I didn't actually made it for. I did a top stitch as well on the lower part, and it's looking so beautiful. And as you can see, I just actually crossed the little straps. This is how the back looks like. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please feel free to write me. Happy sewing!